Welcome back to Fix It with Feng Shui Q&A, where I answer your Feng Shui questions. So if you have a question about energy, something about your home, something about Feng Shui, be sure to ask it in the comments below. Email me at jill@jillathea.com, or you can always DM me on Instagram and Facebook and let me know what your question is and I'll answer it on a future episode. So this question comes from somebody who is a great watcher of the videos and loves Feng Shui, and she goes, I do have a question. Whenever I put or change things in my home to shift the energy, it seems to go the opposite of what I'm wanting. Such things as increasing the flow of my finances. After putting the placements in and doing my intentions, I seem to have excessive lack. What am I doing wrong? Thank you. Okay, so the first thing I want to make sure is that you're laying the bagwell map properly on your home. This is like the trickiest part of Feng Shui. It can be super confusing in some of the books, which is why I put out the Feng Shui in 1, 2, 3 guidebook, which shows you exactly what to do. And there's free Feng Shui 911 video emails in there that you can send to me to make sure you're doing it right. So there's a link below for that if you need that. But make sure you've laid the bagwell map properly. If we lay that wrong, then we're adding cures into wrong areas of our home and the flow is going to be totally disrupted. So make sure that that has been done properly. I use a version of BTB Feng Shui, so it's laid based on the front entrance, and your front door is always in the wisdom, purpose, or assistance area. So making sure that that is correct. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is taking a look and going, okay, I've added in the colors, I've added in the elements. Have I added them in with a clear intention in mind? And if you've added them in with a clear intention in mind, then you're going, have I added enough of the color or enough of the elements into this area? Because the teeny tiny amount of color is not enough. It needs to be poster board size, 22 by 28. It doesn't have to be poster board, but think about that size, and that's enough of the color to create an impact in energy. And then have you added in the secondary colors? Have you added in the building elements? Have you done enough to get the energy flowing in these spots? And then I would take a look and go, what are the reducing elements in this area and what's happening in my space? Because you can add all the color and all the element you want, but if you have a reducing element in the area, it almost negates the vast majority of what you've been doing. And so what you want to do is go, okay, so my abundance area, my community area, community is daily finances. So making sure you're adding cures to the right area too is super important. Is there much metal in that area? If there's a bunch of metal in that area, and abundance is in the back left corner of your home from the front door, community is in the middle third of your home on the left. If there's a bunch of metal in that area, it's like metal is chopping wood, and wood is the primary element in that area. So you definitely want to make sure that you are reducing that amount of metal. So if you can move it out of this space, that's fine. If you can't, then you have to use its reducing element. So that would be fire. So you add some fire to that area to negate the metal, which then allows the wood to vibrate with the energy that it's needed. And so you're taking a look and going, is there a major reducing element in that area? And what is that doing for the energy? When it comes to abundance, you're looking at a couple other areas of your home. Your front entrance is a money energy area, and so is your oven. So are those things, are they feng shuied as they need to be feng shuied? So that's taking a look at kind of all the basics of feng shui and saying, do I have this flowing properly? Also, how is the energy flowing in the rest of your home? Because like your abundance area is the back left corner of your main floor, but what's happening in the basement if you have one? What's happening on the upper floor? Are they cluttered? Are they full of things? Is it reducing elements? So you have to make sure that the energy is flowing on all levels in that particular area, and then in all other parts of your home too. So we can't have kind of one ideal location in our home and then the rest of the home is cluttered, or there's a bunch of kind of things in certain areas that doesn't work very well. We take a look at equal and opposite areas. So the assistance area, the front third of your home on the right, that is equal and opposite area to abundance. What's happening in that area, because it supports your abundance. So there's lots of things we can take a look and go from a feng shui standpoint of cures. What do we need to do to get the energy flowing? And that's why the guidebook's so great, is you have those feng shui 911 emails, 3 of them for free, that you can get a hold of me and say, like, here's what's happening, what do I need to do about this? And you can also double check your cures with what that is. Now, the next thing we need to focus is on your mental energy. So, did you have a clear intention in mind? Because in Feng Shui, 70% of the shift that happens comes from your mental energy. So, is this something you actually truly want? Is this something you think you should want? Did you have a clear picture in your mind as you place the cures? So making sure that that happens. And then also, what is your mental energy now? Because if you place it and think it's not going to work, what do you think is going to happen? it's not going to work very well, right? Our mental energy is very powerful in all circumstances in our life. So making sure that you are looking for ways that abundance or well-being or love or like whatever it is you feel like isn't working well when you feng shui something, start looking for ways that it is showing up. And it can be very small things, but every day you're going, here are the 3 things that showed up from an abundance standpoint. Something was on sale that was unexpected. I received a rebate back that I wasn't expecting. I found a couple dollars in my pocket that I didn't know was there. I had an opportunity present itself to whatever. And start looking for ways that abundance is showing up, because thoughts are things, and the more that you see something, the more that you're able to be grateful for it, the more that will begin to show up in your life. So it creates a momentum too. So if you're distrusting of the process isn't going to work. And if you're not looking for ways that abundance is showing up, the process isn't going to work. Also, are you taking the hints from the universe? Maybe you had a hidden intuition of this was a way to make more money. Maybe there's something you feel like you should sell. Maybe there's an opportunity that's coming up that you're kind of ignoring. Like, if the universe starts lining things up, if you're not starting to say yes to them as ways to increase your abundance or deal with your finances or whatever it is, maybe somebody showed up in your feed that will help you re-budget so you can reorganize and you actually have, you're able to use your money in a different way. Like, are you seeing what's showing up for you? Because we can't predict how it's going to show up. And so when I first started feng shuiing, when I take a look what happened from an abundance standpoint, I put down that I wanted a different house, a different vehicle, and a certain amount of money in my bank account. And there was no way that would actually happen. I had no idea how it was going to happen, and I didn't attach myself to the how. And that's very important in this. And what happened was the real estate market went nuts. We ended up selling our townhouse for way more than we anticipated. All of a sudden, there was that amount of money in the bank that I had no idea how we were going to save for it. And there was that number. And then we happened to go on a trip, and on the way home from the trip, my husband decided it was time to get a bigger vehicle and check that off the list. None of those things I could have predicted how they were going to happen. And so that's really important too, is don't be attached to the how, but start picking up what is being presented to you when this is something you want. What is the hit of intuition? What do you feel called to do? Who's coming into your life? What books are showing up? What podcasts? What information? What small shifts do you need to change? And then how are you every day looking for the things to be grateful for in this part of your life? And all of a sudden you will start seeing more things to be grateful for and more ways to move towards what it is you want most. So you're not doing it wrong, but just sometimes we're not looking at it and our mindset isn't there to support it because we're doubting the process and we're doubting ourselves, and let's not do this. The other thing is, and this is life, sometimes things need to fall apart a little bit more before they can fall together. And so understanding that you are where you need to be right now, you will have the tools, you will be able to figure it out, and you'll be able to move forward. And you have to sometimes have trust, faith, and surrender in the process to move towards what it is you truly want. And sometimes the actions we have to take are ones that we want to take, right? And so understanding all of that in this process, right, is feng shui is creating that shift of energy in your home. Your mindset is a powerful part of that process and a tool, but then taking action based on what's being laid before you, what you feel you need to do, is a very vital part in the energy flowing as well. So add more of the color and element if things aren't flowing the way you want. Declutter the area. If the area is cluttered, the energy isn't flowing. Take a look at the equal and opposite area and what you need to do. Make sure there isn't any reducing elements in the area, and make sure your mind is right and you're looking for things to be grateful for in that area, and you'll begin to see the energy shift not only in you, but in your experiences in your life too. So if you have a feng shui question you want answered, ask it below, email me, DM me, and I'd love to answer it for you. If there's anything in this that you need clarified, be sure to ask. I'd be happy to answer, and I look forward to catching you on the next episode.